Okay, so the project is created. Okay, let's open the project now. So it's code MediServe. Okay, so my project is open now. So as I told you, we are going to create some components with some pages. Okay, so first of all, I'll include Bootstrap and we'll do the setup and then we will do the API integration. So copy and npm install Bootstrap. To use Bootstrap in our application, we can either do it in an angular.json file in the style section, or you can add it in a styles folder, styles.scss file. Here you can use @import statement, okay, where you can specify tilde bootstrap slash, okay, we are actually it's in bootstrap node modules, bootstrap scss and bootstrap.scss. So it's bootstrap slash scss slash bootstrap. Okay, we don't need to specify .scss. Okay, save it, and now I'll go to, or let's start the application itself and see whether our application whether the bootstrap is included in our application or not. No. I think bootstrap dot CSS. Okay. Make sure we can use node underscore module slash. Tilde doesn't work, then you can use node underscore module slash. Okay. So bootstrap is included. Let's go to localhost 4200. Yeah, my application is showing. Let's add just let's go to app component.html and I'll add h1 tag hello. Okay, let's see. So if it looks like this, that means my bootstrap is added. Okay, now let's go and add some pages into our application. Now before adding let's say just add a pages. Okay, um so this is our routing module where we can add routes. Now before starting the application, I'm just stopping the application now. Now before doing like extra work like adding some header and footer and everything, let's add all the components first. What are the components that we will require? Okay, or let's say what are the lazy loaded modules that we can add? Okay, so we in our application we have a login component, we will have a login component, we'll have a registration component. Okay, let's say these two components are related to your user module. Okay, then we will have a shared module which will include some shared components and everything. Okay, then we will have a medicine module where we will have all the components related to medicine. Okay, so we'll create these three modules and these three modules should be lazy loaded. Okay, now to create a lazy loaded module, okay, you can use ng g. Okay, you can specify m to create a module. Okay, and then you can specify the module name, okay, which is users. Okay, then we can specify hyphen route. Okay, hyphen route, so it will add a lazy loaded module for us, and it should be included inside app.module. So we'll specify like this. Okay, so your users module will be created. Just a minute, I think I forgot. Just a minute. Specify hyphen route equals to users, I guess. Specify hyphen route equals to users. So what this will do is it will create a lazy loaded module. Okay. So this is a lazy loaded module. the users module. Okay, and in this users module, it will create a component, users component, HTML, TS, and CSS files, everything. And this is your shell component. This is your user module. Okay, user module will have users components. Everything will be created for you. And there is a users routing module, which will have, for now, we will have a users component. Okay, so system users lazy loaded module is created. Next thing, we will create a medicine module. Okay, so specify medicines here, okay, and I'll write module name as medicines. Okay, so here medicines module is created, medicines module, then medicines routing module. Okay, and that module will be added in your app routing module. Actually, it should not be users or user. Actually, the module name should be singular. Okay, and the path name should be plural. Okay, it shouldn't be like a folder name by convention. If you go, it should be like this. Okay, let's say app module. I will remove this first. Okay, okay. First, let's user module, okay, and the route path will be plural. And then we will have medicine module. The route path will be plural. So app routing module is created. We will have lazy loaded model for users. Now we have a lazy loaded module for user and medicine module. Let's create a shared module, nggm shared module hyphen m. Okay, it should be in, let's say, shared folder. You can simply create a shared module at the top itself, and it should be included in every module. Actually, shared module should be included in every module, right? So we'll create a shared module here. Okay, the shared module will contain the modules or the components which will be required by all the modules. Okay, right now if you see, shared module is included in app module, but shared module should be included in all the imports area of all the modules wherever we will require. Okay, we are going to require forms module. Okay, so we'll add a forms module. Forms module will be required by medicine and user ad as well. Okay, because both of them will contain forms. So we'll include forms module here. We can also include reactive forms module. Okay. We can also include HTTP client module. Okay, because HTTP client module we will be requiring every time. We can import thread angular common slash HTTP, okay, HTTP client module. Okay, so we'll have HTTP client module. You can also include router module, but router module is going to be included in every routing module, and it is exported from there, and it will be imported in app module. So we do need to import route module in share module, okay, because it will be included in every modules. Okay, now we have a shared module. Now we know this forms module, reactive forms module, and HTTP client module. This we actually when we do import, when we want to use this module inside this module, shared module, we don't want to use them inside shared module. We want to use them user immediacy and app component module. So every other module we want to use them. So we will not put them in an imports array. We will put them in exports array so that they can be used in every module. Okay. Now the next thing that we need to do is shared module is imported here. Let's go to users module and import our shared module so that all the exported members of shared module will be imported here. Okay, so all the members of exports, all the exports of shared module will be imported in user module. Okay, the same thing we can do it for medicine as well. So we can use shared module here. Okay. So everything exported in shared module will be imported in medicine module. Okay. So our modules are created. Next thing that we are going to create is components. Okay. So we need the login component and registration component. These are the part of your user module. Okay. So you'll create them inside user. Okay. So nggc and user slash uh, register hyphen m. Now, if even if you don't specify hyphen m, by default the module picked up by the user, the register component will be user module, because it will take the same module which is available in the same folder. Okay, even if you do this, you will see the C register component will be declared inside user module. It won't be declared inside app module, because we have used nggc user slash register. So user folder has user module, so it will be automatically be declared inside a user module. Okay. Now we know the register component is created. Let's create a login component as well. So login component is also created. Let's add routing for them. Right now, if you see, we have user component. Okay, which will be displayed when we route to the users page. Okay, but you will not see login and register page. Okay, because if you see in app component, we haven't displayed anything. So we are going to add routing and everything. But let's create all the components first, and then we will add routing. Okay. Now let's create medicine dash list component. So this will be list, it will display the list. Okay. So we'll have a medicine list component. Then we will have a medicine create component, which will create a medicine. And we do one more thing. We will add view component. Okay. Or let's say view component, I will keep it up to you. Okay, it's just an API. So we'll create and list component, where create will have a form and list will just display the list. Okay. So they will be fetched from the medicine API. Okay. And user will be fetched from the user API. Okay. So our structure is done. So medicine components, medicine module, user component, user module is generated. You can see that we haven't written single line of code. We are just using ng command to generate our components and modules and everything. You can see that everything is done for you. We have just added a code in shared module, which is required for us, like forms module, reactive forms module, and HTTP client module. Okay. So that thing we have just added. Now, next thing, first let's generate a layout for our application. So I'll start my application, and yeah, one more thing, we are going to create a header. Okay, first. So let's go to Bootstrap and add a navbar. So navbar is in, yeah, it's here. So let's add a navbar. So I'll copy this code and paste it here. Okay, so your navbar will be added. Refresh, and you'll see the navbar here. Okay, right now we haven't added a JavaScript code. So if you do the responsive part here, like inspect it, and if you click on this, here this function will not work. Okay, to do this, we need to add a JavaScript code as well. So how can you add a JavaScript file in your Bootstrap, in your Angular application or Bootstrap? You can go to angular.json, and here you'll find a script section. In this script section, you can, it's inside node underscore modules slash bootstrap, I think, slash, it's inside a JS folder slash uh, dist slash, I think it's not like this, slash dist slash JS slash bootstrap dot mean dot JS. Okay. So this will be included here. You can also add a CSS file directly inside this instead of styles.scss. Both will work. But once you do the changes in angular.json file, you have to restart again. Okay, so application is started. Let's go and refresh. Now, if you click on this, you will see it will open. Okay, so your JavaScript code will run. Okay, now we don't need the search and everything. So I'll remove everything. I'll just keep the links for now. So let's go to our app component. This form we don't need, remove. Disabled, and this drop down field we don't need. Okay. This area page component will remove. This is home and link. Okay, so we'll have a home link and link. So here we will change it to display users, or let not users, just a home component and a medicine component. Okay, so let's call it as a medicine. Okay. And here it will be home. We haven't created home component, so let's go and create our home component. So nggc home. Okay, it is going to be directly a home component, and it's going to be a part of app component. So we are just directing this -m app dot module. Even if you don't write this, it will directly go into app module. So home component is created. Okay, for now we are not displaying anything here. Okay, so let's go to node, and yeah, now after the nav. Okay, this nav is actually white, in white color. Let's go and change the color. So color schemes. Okay, so let's use BG primary dark. So it would be blue color. BG tertiary we need to remove, and add this BG primary dark. Refresh, and you will see the color is changed. Okay, now as a home component, for home component we need to now load the home page here. Okay, so let's go and add the routing. So here the home component is going to be directly a path. So we'll add path colon slash home. Also not slash home, it's home. If you go to home, so it will display the component as home component. Okay. Then so this will load home component if you go to slash home. Okay, but you cannot see the home here because we haven't added a router outlet. Okay. So let's go and add a router outlet here. Outlet. Now you will see homeworks. Okay, now if you go to blank page, you will see nothing, because for blank URL like 4200 slash nothing, we are not loading anything. Okay, so for that, let's add a redirect. Okay, so if the path is blank, we will use redirect to colon dash home. Okay, and we will add path match colon full path will be matched. And now if you see, if I go to this page, it will be redirect to home page. Okay, and for medicines, okay, so medicines, it should go to medicines, and for users or anything, it should go to that page. Okay. Now we will add that routing. First let's add all the routings uh, for medicines. Okay, if I okay, so let's go to app component first, and let's change this first href. Okay, we will add a router link equals to um dash home. Okay, so whenever I click on this home button, it will go to the home page. Okay, now for this we will add router link dash medicines. Okay, so it will go to medicines page. Now if I click on this, you will see medicine works. Okay, if I click on this, home works. That means here the medicine component is loading. Okay, you can check it out. In if you go to app routing module, it is loading medicine lazily. Okay, it is loading medicine module. If I go to the medicine module, it has a medicine routing module, where if the path is blank, we are loading medicine component here. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. So as you can see, if the path is blank, that means we are loading medicine component here. Okay. Now we want to load, let's say, list page here. Okay. So you want to load list page here. So it's not possible to do it directly from the app component, because in the app component, we are only loading the outer routes. Okay. So all these routes will be loaded in your app component. But what about the medicine routes, medicine components? Okay. So as you can see, medicine routes are inside medicine module or medicine routing module. So they will be loaded inside medicine component because the direct path of this is medicine component. Okay. So what we need to do here is we have to add child routes. So let's say if we go to medicines and then medicine slash list. Okay. So it will load medicine list page. Okay. So here I will add children. Okay. In the children, I'll specify path status list. Okay. So the component loaded will be list component. Okay. Then the path, if it is create, then component loaded will be create component. Okay. And if the path is blank, path is blank. Okay. So if you write slash medicines like this, okay. So right now it loads medicine works. But what we are going to do is here we are going to add router outlet because this paths where it is going to load, it is going to load inside this medicine component. So we need to add router outlet here. Okay, because these are the child routes. These are all child routes. You can see these are all child routes. Okay. So we need to add a router outlet inside medicine component to load these routes. Okay. But if the path is blank, then what we are going to do? If you add this, okay, you will see refresh and you will not see anything because in the medicine component we are not loading anything. We are just writing router outlet. But if you go to medicine slash list, you will see list works. If you go to medicine slash create, you will see create works. That means these components are loading. But when I go to slash medicines, nothing is loading. If you want to redirect it to list page, whenever I go to this medicines blank, then you can add path and put a redirect to colon. It would be slash medicines slash list. Okay, and path match would be full. Okay. So now if you write and refresh the page, you will see if I go to this medicines, it will redirect me to list page. Okay. If I go to home page, home page will be loaded. Now here, if you see the on the bottom left corner, you can see it's localhost colon 4200 slash medicines. But when I click on this, it will redirect me to medicine slash list page. Okay. So that's how we can redirect. Okay, so that's how we have loaded a medicine list and medicine create page. Okay, we can create page as well. Okay, but for now we don't have any route for that. We will add that route later on when we do create a list page. Okay, or let's say if you have created a list page. Okay, so in the list page, let's add a button to go to that create page. So I'll go to list page here. I will add a button, btn, btn dash primary create medicine. Okay. And here I'll add router link to be slash medicines slash create. Okay. So now if you see there is a button, if you click on this, you will go to create page. Okay. So that's how you can do it. We can add a styling and everything later on. But now for now, I'll keep it as it is. Okay. So this is your medicine page. This is your home page. Okay. Now, homepage is accessible to everyone. Let's change this navbar to MediServe. It would be MediServe. Okay, so application name. Also, instead of href, what you can do is you can redirect it to home page. Okay, so when I click on this MediServe here, it will go to home page. Here, it will go to home page. So our basic structure is done. Now let's go and add login page, registration page. Okay, and then we will add the rest of the pages later on. First implement, let's login and registration functionality. Okay, so let's go to user. Okay, now in the user component, we have a register and login component. I'll go to register component, and here we will add a form. Now for this, okay, we don't have any link here. Okay, so we will add a link here at the here. So we'll go, and after this UL, I guess. Okay. After this UL, we will add. mm, what was the navbar on the right side? If you want to add it on the right side, you can create a form here. It would be tflex. Hmm. Let's create a simple button and see button. Okay, right. The button is called login. So yeah, it's login here. Okay, but the problem here is, let's call it as anchor tag. Button, yeah, buttons. So btn dark. Okay, we'll add btn dark. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, later on you can change it if you want. For now, it would be okay. So we have a login button, and when you click on this, we will go to /users/login page. Okay, so you'll click on this, and you will. It's oh, we haven't created any routes in users routing module. Okay, we haven't created any routes. So let's create a routes here as well. So it would be children and path. Okay. Uh, let's call it as a login, and the component would be a login component. Okay, then we will have a path register. Okay, if its component would be a register component. And let's see, refresh. Click on this, you will go to login component, and you will see the user works here. Okay, where the login component is not loaded. We are seeing user works. That's because in the user component, the user works is written. You have to write a child router outlet. Then refresh, and now you will see login works. Let's go and add a form. I'll add a card first for a login component, and then I'll add a form. Okay. Okay. So this simple card I will add copy, and let's go to register component. Okay. Paste, and let's see what happens. How the card is displayed. Okay, it be in register. So I'll go to register. Okay, and this card is displayed. If you want to put this in a center, okay. First of all, let's add some spacing in header and your main container. Okay, so I'll add that in a app component. This router outlet is actually hanging here, so I'll add a main dot container class. That will be there will be space here and here, and then let's add some margin top. So empty dash phi, I guess. It's a empty phi is a bootstrap class. Okay, so there is a space. Now we want it to be in a center. Okay, so we will put it in a center. Let's now that we can do in a register component. Okay, now in a register component, this is a div. Okay, this right is our register component. Inside this we have a div. This div is actually left aligned. Okay, what we can do, we can add a div, wrapping div for this, and put a flex. Okay, um d dash flex. Okay, inside this I will add this, save it, and refresh. Okay, so it's a flex layout now. If you specify, if you add justify content center class, so it will be in a center. Okay, justify content center. Your card will be in center. Okay, the by default the card width is 18 RAM. We can increase the width. Let's add uh, RAM. No, 30. Yeah, that's enough, I guess. Or let's put it 35. So I'll add 35 RAM. Here card will be displayed here. Now inside this card we are going to remove everything, all the content. So the card title would be register. Okay. The subtitle we don't need, remove. These two anchor tags, okay, I'll keep one just for register button. Okay, this is not be going to be anchor tag. Let's call it as a button. And our link it would be btn dash primary. Okay, and we'll call it as register. Let's keep our, I'll keep this and keep one link here. I'll keep one link here just to redirect to login page. Okay, so I'll add a router link as users slash login. Okay, where we can say okay, already user already registered, then login. And if we can directly click the register and it will be registered. Now this content we will remove and put our form here. Okay. So let's say the card text is removed and we will put our form here. Okay, so let's add a form. Go to here, it's form overview. Copy this and paste. Okay, so p tag, what is here? Unexpected closing p. The p is not closed. Let's make it div. So the form tag, and let's save and see how the form looks like. Okay, submit button. Let's remove this submit button. Okay, this register button should be inside our form. Okay, so what I will do here is I will remove form tag from this and we will put a form tag outside the div. Okay, card. Here also we will put it here. Okay, so that the button submit button will be, or register button will be included inside form tag. Okay, click on this, the register button will basically submit the form. Okay, now we have email address, password. Okay, and what all we need for registration, we'll need name. No, not this name. In the user rest, first name, last name, email, password, and age. Okay, so age is required. No, I think so. In the model, user age is not required. So we'll keep name, first name, last name, email, and password. Okay, I'll skip the age part. Here, the label would be, let's say, first name. Let's keep email as it is for now. And copy, paste. Here it would be first name. First name. The type would be text. It won't be email. A description here, so I'll remove this describe by, remove this one as well. Okay, this is for first name. Let's copy and paste for last name. have a last name here. Okay, it would be type text. For email, the say the for would be email address. Okay, um, let's keep it as it is. And for password, uh, it will be password copy. I put a password here and input type here would be email. Okay, we don't need a checkbox. I'll remove this checkbox. So all the fields are created, all the required fields. Now let's go and add our forms. Okay, so here how are we going to add a form here? Let's add a form. We can create a normal, you can say template driven form, or we can create reactive form. So I'm going to create a reactive form here. So register form equals to um, new form group. Okay. Inside this form group, we would be having first name colon new form control. So initially the value would be null, comma. We will have a validators. Now first name is not required, so keep it as it is, first name and last name. So even if they are not written, we'll keep it as it is. Okay. Now for email, it's required. Okay. So we'll put validators here. Validators dot required, comma validators dot email. Okay. And for password, we'll add comma validators dot required. Rest you can add like pattern and everything. You can add for password. I'll not add anything for now. Okay. Mean length also you can add. Minimum this should be password should be that. Okay. So this is our register form. Now we want to bind this register form with our HTML. Okay. So we'll add form group here. Okay. The form group will be register form. Okay. The input would be form control name equals to, it would be first name, then last name, and the email and password. All the forms are linked. Okay, you can check it here. So all the controls are added. You can see the classes are added. That means the control is added here. Okay. Now, if you see, if I enter email, I'm not seeing any error or anything. Okay. So if I enter any password or anything like this, so email, if it is invalid or required, I'm not getting any error here. So for this, let's see if there are any error, how we can display them in a form control validation. Okay. For validation, okay. So what I will do is inspect form is was validated, needs validation. Okay. What this class means, I don't know. Let's refresh and check again. So needs validation, doesn't have anything. Let's submit, and was validated class is added. If I check, let's say this one. So the class added here for the input. Okay. No class added, right? And for this, the required, and there is no class, invalid, control colon invalid. Okay, so let's forget about this. We will add our own CSS styling. Okay, So we want to let's say display some border here, red border. Okay, when can we display red border? If the control, okay, this is a let's say this control, this is the control. If the control is dirty and if it is invalid, then we will, then only we will show red color. Otherwise what will happen is, if it is invalid, right, in the at the first stage it will be invalid. Okay, but once you touch it and go, the for control remains pristine and it is invalid. But if you enter anything, you will see the control becomes dirty and invalid. At that time we can add a red color, red border. Okay, so here I'll say dot ng invalid dot ng dirty. Then we will say border color 1 pixel red, solid red. Okay. If you go and see, refresh, is the border color not added here? Okay, it's been, I think, overridden by this. Okay, it's been overridden by your because let's add not important here. You shouldn't add not important. See the issue here. If the value is not correct, oh, sorry. I it's border, not border color. Okay, but you can see the color is added for this field and color is also added for the entire form. Okay, because for form also it's ng in dirty and ng invalid. So you don't want to add it for the form. So in that case, we'll specify not of form. Excluding form, you can add it for all the controls. Now you can see only email will have a red border. Okay, but if it is valid, okay, then the red border should go, right, and it should show green color. So in that case, we will add the same thing here. But now for valid, we will say green. Okay. If it is dirty and valid, then it will show green color. See, it's now in green color. Now this is done. Validation is done. So the color has been added. You can also show the alerts and everything, but I'll keep it up to you. You know. So the register form. Now, if you submit it, okay, after you submit it, okay, we can also do one thing. You can add ng submit here. In the ng submit, if the form is valid, then only we will submit it. So we'll say register form dot valid, and then we will submit it. Okay, let's create a submit function here on submit. We'll be returning it, so we'll write void and on submit. We'll call on submit function. Okay, and let's check whether this is working or not. Let's see this dot register form. We'll print the values inside a form. Save it. Let's go to console, add the values, and 3. You will see the form control with its values. Okay, that means the form is submitted. You can check the values using dot values. Okay, dot value, you can check it for for value. Okay. You can see every value here. Okay, now my form control is done. Now I need to call an API. Okay, now to call the API, what we will do is we will create a service here. Okay, so we can service inside user, or we can create a global level services, because most of the services are going to be uh, the global services. Okay, or root level services. So we'll write nggs to create a service, and we'll create a services folder. Inside that service, we will add user service. So your user service will be created here. Let's create a medicine server as well. Medicine service is also created. Let's go to user service, and now we are going to integrate our API. Okay, so we know the base URL. Base URL is localhost colon HTTP localhost colon 4000. Okay, so we don't need to enter that base URL every time, right? So what we will do here is we will we will go to us not assets. Where is the environment? Mm, is the environment.ts file removed? Mm. Okay, no worries. We will add it in here itself. Then later on, we will figure it out where we can do it. In the users or service, we will create const URL equals to this will be the URL, not const, sorry. URL equals to this URL. Okay, this is base URL. Let's call it as base URL. Now we will import HTTP service, HTTP client service. Okay, to integrate with our APIs. We'll call a register function here. Okay, this register function, okay, requires first name, comma last name, comma email, comma password. Okay, now first name is going to be now we can actually pass the entire register form here instead of passing each and every value, so that later on if let's say one more field gets added, we don't have to change it in the form. We can destructure that here. Okay, let's say uh, now here we can call it as any. Okay, for now we'll call it as any. Okay. Then from this the value we will pass it. Okay, the first name we will now we are going to call return this dot http dot. Now you know the register API is a post API. Okay, and with no URL. Okay, so it's going to be a post. Okay, but what it is going to give us. Okay, so here we will specify first of all dollar base URL. Okay, this is the base URL. Then we won't be having anything, so we'll keep it as it is. Okay, there is uh, no URL parameter after this, so we'll keep it as it is. But next we need to pass post parameters. Okay, the body. So here we will pass the body. In the body we are going to specify first name, comma last name, comma email, comma password. So the field names are same, so we are not going to change it. First name, last name, email, and password. So these are the same fields. But what it is going to return me? It is going to return me a user object. Okay. Actually, it's inside a data. The output returned is an object. Inside that object, we are going to see a data field, and in that data field, we are going to see a user object. Okay. So that user object actually contains, it's a user model. Okay, so it will contain name with first and last, email, password, age, and the medicines. Okay, so we need to create a model here for user. We will create a user model. Inside this, I'm going to create a new file, user.ts. Sorry, not just, it's a ts. Sorry. Okay, we'll create an interface inside this. So export interface user. Okay. Inside this, it would be a name. Name is of type object, where the first will be there, which is of new type, which is of type string. And we will have last, which is of type string. Okay, this is a name. Then we will have email, which is of type string. So email colon string. And we'll be having password, age, and medicines. Password string, and age is a number. Then medicines is an array. For now, I'll keep it any array. Okay. And we know medicines is going to be optional. Age is also going to be optional. First and last, we can keep it optional. Name is also optional. Email and password are required. So keep it as it is. Okay. Now from this, we are going to get a user object here. So we'll import that user object and we'll get it here. Okay. So this is going to return me observable of user. Okay. Observable of user object. But you know, when the data is returned from this user route, the data is going to be returned as an object. In that object, we are going to have a data field, and inside the data field, we are going to have a user object. Okay, so this is not going to be a user directly. It is going to be an object where the data field will be there, and the data field will contain, you can say any, let's say any object, any type. Okay, so it would contain any type. Okay, that any type will contain a user object. Okay, now you are going to get an error because we are returning observable of user. So what you can do here is we can extract the user object from this by using dot pipe, and from this pipe we can use map operator to map the response. Okay, a response. Now from this response we are going to return response dot data. Okay, this data is of type any, but we can convert it to as user type so that our return data would be an user, and this will match observable of user with this data. Okay. Inside this response, we are going to have a data, and that data is we are typecasting it to user object by user type by using as. Okay. So the object dot data will be a user object. Okay. So this is how we are going to register it. Now, once the registration is done, we will need this map later on. So once the registration is done, the API is ready for us. Let's go and to our register and call the register API. Okay. So we need a constructor here to inject our user service, private user service, user service. Now we will call the user service here, this dot user service dot register. At this register, we are going to pass this dot register form dot value. Okay, and you have to do subscribe. Okay, otherwise the API will not be called. So we'll call dot subscribe here. Okay, inside the subscribe, you will receive the data. Okay, which is actually going to be a registered user. Okay, so it will be data here. So it would be a data here. So let's check whether the user is registered or not successfully. I'll save it and see whether the API works or not. Okay, let's refresh and check it network tab. I'll enter the field values. I'll change the email address admin123 at the rate. So see the 404 because the URL tp localhost colon 4000 slash, oh sorry, it's actually not slash, it's actually user slash, because the API was users and then slash. Okay, so the API URL is wrong. So add, let's go to user service xurl slash users. Okay, nice, let's check. And at the rate register, and you will see the API, you will see the response, and the user is created. This is the response coming, sorry, this is the response created at email, full name, ID, medicines array, the name, first and last, okay, updated at. You're also receiving created and updated at. You can get these values here, okay, and you can see my user is successfully registered, okay. The password field, you will not receive it here because we are omitting that password field while registering. You can see we are making it undefined, so you will not receive a password field here. Okay, so our registration API is successful. Okay, it is working because we have enabled CORS here. So CORS will basically allow our URL 42 localhost colon 4200. If you want to just allow this only our API, then like here you can specify the origin. Okay. Right now, what our server is doing is it is allowing all the URLs, all the clients. Okay. If you want to restrict it to just for our URL, okay. So origin, you can specify the origin. Origin, you can specify by default it's a star value. That means it will allow any origin. Okay. Here you can specify our URL http colon localhost colon 3200. Okay, so this will only allow our URL. If you don't specify like 4000, so it won't allow our URL. That means if you call register now, you are going to get an error here, that is a course error. Okay, this is going to be a course error. See, because our URL is not allowed, for 4200 is not allowed. Okay, I'll change it to 3000 because our server is running 4000. You will see the same thing. Okay, now to allow just only our URL, okay, we can specify 4200. So our only our URL will be allowed. And now if you register, you'll see the API is successful and the new user with same email ID is registered now. Okay, the user API is successful. So now what will happen is only your URL will be allowed. Rest means only you can do call this API. Okay, the rest cannot call it. Okay, if you want to allow multiple, then you can put it in an array and specify comma separated origins here. Okay, this will also work. So right now we only have one URL, so I'll keep it one. Okay, one origin. Now let's come back here and you can see the register functionality is working. But if you see, when I do the registration, okay, we are still on the same page. Okay, actually you should move to login page because after registration you can do the login or you can directly go to the home page. Okay, but after registration you usually go to the login page. So let's go to login page. Now how do you go to the login page? You can manually go to login page once the registration is successful. You can call comma private and we can use router service for that purpose. Router. Okay, the router service, using router service we can navigate to manually navigate to slash users slash login page. Okay, this will send us to login page. Okay, now let's see the login. So let's see whether we are going to the login page or not. So I'll see Moripranit, then admin, when free. Let's see the user is the same user is there or not. So let me go search use medicine public of db dot users dot find. Okay. For now, there are multiple users created. Moripranit 1, and then there is a moriprint@gmail.com. So there is already a user with same email ID. So let's do one thing. I'll create a user with different email ID now. 2 admin 123 at the rate register. Now you will see after registration, I'm in login page. Okay. Now our registration is done. Now let's do the login part. Okay. The login part is going to be the exactly the same. The thing is that in the registration, we were doing the registration calling registration API and we are adding some more fields, but the login will have the same functionality. Okay, let's go to login and what I will do is I will copy this entire thing and paste it here. You need to just copy paste everything. Yeah, this is going to be I'll add this as a global styling, okay, so that it can be added everywhere. Let's go to CSS paste. Okay, so it would be a global style. So it will work in login component. It will also work in a registration component. And let's go and add the same copy and paste. Okay, everything is added. Let's import some things here. We need a user service as well. We need a router service as well. Okay, because after login, we are going to redirect to home page. Okay, now the Here we need to change some parameters, like we don't need a first name, last name, we'll remove it. We'll only require email and password. Let's go to the login component. Here we will change it to, okay, we change the name as well. Okay, so it is going to be login form. Okay, and here also the name will change to login form. Login form dot valid submit. This is going to be a login. Okay, we don't need a first name, last name. This, okay, email address, password. Here it would be login. Okay, we will say not not a member yet. Okay, and then we will redirect to register page. Now you will see, save, login page will be the same thing. If you click on this, it will go to the register. You can click on login, you will come back to the login page. Okay, now let's implement the login functionality. The everything is same. Here if you come log form, now instead of register, we are going to create a login API now. It will be login, will require email and password. Okay, from this we won't be using first name, last name. Okay, our API is user slash login and it will require email and password. So email and password is users slash login. Okay, it's post API, right? So it's a post API. Now this will return us, if the successful login is successful, it will return us an object with message and token. So there are two fields inside this, message and token. So we will say it would be a data, it would be message, which is a string. Okay. Then there is a token, which is also a string. Okay. So here from this, we are going to return, let's say, uh, yeah. So here we can return a simple response here. Okay, itself. It won't be a user, so we'll specify any here for now. Okay. So we are directly returning the entire response along with the message and token. Okay. Now your login function, login API is done. Let's go to the login component and change this register to login. Okay. Here we will have a data, and once the login is successful, we will redirect to home page. Okay, so it would go to home page. Let's see whether login works. So I'll use 2, then password is admin123 @login. Yes, the login is successful. You can see login successful, token is generated, and you can see we are redirected to home page. Okay, so that's how you can implement a login and registration functionality. But there are some things that we need to see here. Okay, so we have a login link here. When we come to the login link, we can see home and medicines. Actually, medicines should not be visible, right? Because, and you can see when we go to medicines, we are seeing this medicine page. Okay, home is fine. If you go to login, okay, if your user is not logged in, then the medicines should not be visible. Okay, or rather, if you go from medicines from this list, you should not see this page. Okay, because without login you cannot visit that page, and without login you cannot see this link as well. Okay, so in that case what you can do is we can hide this login, this is link, or else you can keep it there itself, but when we go, click on the link, we can redirect to login page. Okay, for now I'll just hide it. Okay, for this, what for first of all, when you do the login, we have to store with let's say, let's do one thing. When you do the login, this medicine button will appear. Before login, this medicine button will not be shown. Once you log in, this medicine button will appear and this login button will go away. There will be a logout button. Okay, there will be a logout button and this login button will go away. Let's do implement this first. Okay, so to do this, we can go to user service and we can use one private variable is logged in, okay, which will be false initially, okay, and then once user logs in, okay, well, we can set this to this dot is logged in to true. Okay, this dot is logged into true. Okay, but this is logged in. Basically, if you see, we cannot when you do the login here. Okay, we let's do one thing. Okay, I'll just keep it as it is. Okay, and we need that is logged in variable here so that we can hide this medicines. Okay, and when you do the login, the medicines button should appear. So medicines button is in app component. Okay, the link is here. Okay, so here we will use first of all we will inject private user service comma colon user service. So the user service is injected. We will say here um, is logged in equals to this dot product service. Sorry, not product service. User service dot is logged in. Okay. So initially you will see this is logged in, and let's go here and change ng if. Okay. If is logged in is false. Okay. So that means if it is false, then not a false is true, right? If it is false, then it should not be visible, right? Okay, you can see we are not logged in. The medicines button is disappeared. Okay, but when we do the login, okay, admin 123 at the rate. After we do the login, you can see that medicines button is not appeared here. Okay, that's because it's not real time. The data is actually uh, is directly shown here. To make it real time, we can use observables here. Okay, so for that, we will make this as private, and we will create one variable is logged in dollar, okay, equals to new behavior subject. Okay, so it will store a boolean value. Okay, so initially it would be this dot is logged in, whatever the value of is logged in is, so it will store that value. And here we are going to use this dot is logged in dollar dot next, and we'll put this dot is logged in. Okay. So if it is true, then the true value will be set. Okay. Now when you use it in a app component, okay, we will use dollar here, and this is also dollar. Now this use dollar, we will use it here. Okay, and we will use a sync pipe to directly uh, use a subscription. Okay, I see refresh. Okay, you will see is logged in is false. The medicine button is not there. Let's go and do the login. Login, and you will see the medicine button is appearing there. Okay, and the real time the medicines button is appeared. Okay, but now if you refresh, you see that medicines button is gone, because even if you go to the login page, the login page is appearing. Yeah, we have done the login once, right? So even after refresh, you should not get logged out, right? The state should remain as it is. So for this, what we can do here is we can store the value in a local storage. Okay, so that once you refresh also, we can get the value from the local storage, and we can use that local storage value. Okay, so when the user logs in, okay, we have a we can store value in local storage dot set item. Okay, let's say same is logged in, comma, we can store let's say token itself. You can store response dot token. Okay, so we'll store the token. If the token is there, then the user is logged in. If token is not there, then that means the user is not logged in. Okay, and we can use this token, okay, also to send that value using or send through that through API. Okay. Now, when I do it here, instead of using this is logged in, I'll remove this variable. Okay. Yeah, let's keep it as it is. Here, what we will say is local storage, get item. Okay. And we will say is in the if the token is there, okay, then we will write true. If it is not there, then we'll say false. Okay. So the true and false will be set here, and then accordingly the value will be displayed. Okay. We'll store the storage first token. Now let's see if it the state is constant or not. If we do the login, React, let's go to the application tab, and here you will see the token will appear once you do the login. See, the is logged in is appearing here. Instead of is logged in, I think it's token. Now you can see the medicine button is appearing. If you refresh, you will see that medicine button is still there. Okay, that means it is my state is maintained. Okay, because I have still stored it in here. If you remove this, okay, clear this one, and now refresh, the medicine button will go away. That's because we are taking it from the storage. Okay, now I'll use token here. Token. Now that login functionality is done, we can also create logout button here. Not return anything. And here we will say what we will do is we will remove everything. Okay. We will remove this item token. We're going to remove the token. Okay. Then will become false, and the same value we will set it to is logged in variable here. Okay. Now this is done. Okay, let's go and refresh. Okay, now this logout function, we can call it on app component. We'll write one more button here, logout. Okay, now we know this. Okay, this route, there won't be a router link here. It would be click, okay, which will do the logout. Okay, so here we will call a logout function. Logout is dot user service dot logout. We'll call a logout function here. Okay, and logout function will be called here. This login and logout, okay, should be displayed, like login will be displayed if user is not logged in. Okay, so in that case, I will add ng here with the same thing, but here it would be not off. Okay, if user is not logged in, then we will show login. If it is logged in, then we will show medicines and logout button. Okay. Now, if you refresh, user is not logged in because we have removed the token here. From here. Let's go to login page and see in real time. See it in real time. Login. You will see medicines button will appear and there is a logout button. Okay. If you refresh, you will see the state is maintained. Now, if you do the logout, the medicine link should go away and login button should appear. And this token will also go away. Logout. You can see medicine link is gone, login button is appearing, and the token is also removed from the application tab. Okay. So that's how you can implement. Now, there is one more thing. Okay. You are not logged in now. Okay. Now, if you go to medicines slash list, you will see that medicine slash list is appearing. Okay. If the user is not logged in and if it tries to go to the URL which is not authenticated, you are able to go to that URL through the when you add it in the address bar. This should not happen, right? So for this, what we can do is we can add a guard. Okay, we can use guards for this. So we'll add a guard ngg. I'll add the guards in the guards folder slash, or let's say in a shared folder because the guard is going to be shared. So here we will add auth guard. Okay. We need a can activate guard. So we'll specify can activate. Okay, so the guard is created inside a shared folder. This is the guard. Okay, and this guard we are going to validate a user. Okay, so first what we will do is we will use constructor to inject our user service. User service. Now the here we don't need this promise and everything. We need to return a boolean value. Okay, but if you return a simple boolean value, it should be static. But we know our user service has a is logged in variable, which is a observable variable, right? So we can use observable here, observable of boolean. Okay, so we can simply say this dot user service dot is logged in. Okay. So if the is logged in is true, that means it can be activated. If it is false, that means it can be activated. Okay. Now our card is created. We can simply go to our routes in app routing module. We know the medicine routes, all the medicine routes, okay, are protected. Okay, so we will add can activate card here. Can activate colon path card. Okay. So what this will do is it will prevent anyone to going to medicine route. Okay, not be able to go it. And you can see as soon as I have added a card, you are not logged in. You are directly thrown out of that page. Okay, you can see slash medicines slash list. You will see you are not going into that page. Okay, you are actually going to this page. Actually, it should show or you should actually go to the login because you are not logged in, right? So it should actually go to the login page. So what you can do here is in the guard, you can inject router service, router colon router. Okay. Now, how we can see, like how we can redirect. For this, what you can do is you can add dot pipe and use map operator here. Inside this map operator, we can check is logged in. If it's logged in, okay. See, we need to return this is logged in. Return. Okay. If user is not logged in, okay. If user is not logged in, then we will redirect or navigate to users slash login page. Okay. If user is not logged, then we will redirect to login page. Okay. Logged in, we are going to return that so that we can check this observable. Okay. Or check that outcome. Now let's see. We are in the home page. I'll go to slash medicines slash list. You will see you are being redirected to login page. Okay. So our functionality is working. So rest of the thing is done. Now the next part remaining, okay, or you can say the last part actually remaining is your medicine. Okay, we have implemented login register. There is a list page. We need to create a list medicine. Okay, so we have a service medicine service here. Let's go to list. Now here we will add listing of medicines. So for this, what we can do use from Bootstrap. Let's see. Table, forms, components, list group. No. Helper utility. Okay, let's use a grid to display all the medicines in, or let's use a table. Okay, let's use a table so that we can display all the medicines. Copy and paste. Okay. Now all the medicines are going to be TR. Okay, we know medicine has fields we have in a medicine. Okay, medicine routes, system medicine chest, name, description, expiry date, and added by. So name, description, and expiry date and added by expiry date. Added by is actually the person who has added this, and we have a timestamps also created at and created by an updated at. So we'll add those fields created at and updated at. Okay. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields. We don't need ID because I long. So 5 fields are there. So 4, 5. Okay. So these 5 fields. For now, you will just see. Okay, let's log in first. Let's log in. Okay. Let's go to medicine and you will see all the medicine listed here. Okay. Now, just a table here. Okay. We will add one more ph here just for the actions. Okay, like do, update, delete these actions. Okay, so these actions we will add th here. Okay, you can display buttons here. Okay, now the table is there. Now we need to call an API to get all the medicines. Okay. Let's go to the medicine routes, and here we have a medicine API which actually give you medicines without authentication, but we need authenticate here or middleware just so that no one can directly get all the medicines without authentication. Just now we have implemented that functionality, right, to show the medicines page. Now here its API is localhost colon 4200/medicines. Then we will see all the medicines and it requires authentication. Okay, so let's do that. We go to medicine service. Here we will first inject our HTTP service, HTTP client. Okay, then we will call get all medicines. Now for this we'll need a medicine model. Okay, because the return type should be medicine model, right? So create a new file, medicine.ts, have export interface, medicine. Okay, the have a name, string. Okay. Then we have a description, again a string. Then we have expiry date. Actually, if you see the expiry date is a date. Okay, it's a date type, so we'll specify date here. And then created at and updated at both are created at or created by. Let's check it in the database. Created at and updated at. Created at a date, then updated at would be a date. Actually, these are not date fields because in the JSON, there is no date. Okay. So when the data is received is actually going to be a string here. Okay. But by default, when you convert it, it will be converted back to a date. Okay. When you typecast it. So now let's come back to our medicine service. And the return type here would be observable of medicine array. Okay. It would be a medicine array. You know that. Now let's come back here and let's create a base URL. So we have a base URL, copy and paste it here. Okay, this is a base URL. Now the API return this dot http dot, okay, it's a get URL, get API, okay, get API. So I'll write get and it is going now when you see get API, the response is like this. So it's an object with data field and inside the data we'll see an array. Okay, so it's going to be a data object with data and is a any array. Okay. Now here we will call our base URL slash medicines. We are not going to pass in anything, so we'll complete it here, but we need to convert. So pipe map, then the response response, we will return response or data as medicine array. Okay, so we are converting the data to medicine array. Okay, now our API is ready. Let's go to our medicines list. Okay, generally, okay, you can directly do it in here, medicine list itself. Okay, but in general, when I okay, no, not here. We are actually using our routing, so don't need to do anything. If you have a child component, child parent component, then you should always call an API from parent and then pass the data to the child component, okay, using an input property. But right now we don't have a parent child. It's actually a routing, so we'll directly choose it here. Okay, so now constructor private private medicine service colon medicine service. Now we will, you don't need to do anything here. We'll call medicines color equals to this dot medicines medicine service dot get all medicines. Okay, we'll just call this method. Now you don't need to do dot subscribe or anything because we know medicine API returns me medicine array. We can directly call that here. Okay, so we can call not ng if. Actually, we are going to repeat tr tag, right? So we'll call ng for here. Okay, and this ng for it would be medicine of medicines color. Okay, pipe async. We can directly call async pipe. It would take care of calling the API. Okay, now if you see and refresh and okay, now you will see when you go to the network tab, you will see the medicine API is returning you 401 because you are not authenticated. Now, why not authenticated? Because we haven't sent authorization header here, okay, which will include bearer token, right? So how we can include that? We already know we have already stored the token in our local storage. We can use this token to send it in authorization header. So let's go to our medicine service pack, and here we will add comma, and in this second options we have headers. Okay, and in these headers we will include authorization header colon, it would be a bearer token, okay, and the dollar, and we can directly use it from local storage dot get item and the token. Okay, so token will be printed here and we'll call now. Let's see. Okay, you can see it's already called the API and you're already seeing all the tokens here, right? All the medicines API, all the API, the medicines are returned here. Okay, and you are seeing all the rows here. Okay, right now we are just repeating the hard-coded data. Let's go to the list component, and instead of this, it's a name, right? So write medicine dot name. Here we will write medicine dot description. Medicine dot expiry medicine dot created at, then medicine dot updated at. Then let's refresh, and now you will see the description is too much, right? It's very large. We can truncate it. Let's do the truncation. You can use uh, just, uh size pipe. Okay, so we'll truncate it to, let's say, 0 to 30 characters. It will be truncated to 30 characters, right? Now, if you want, you can add a title property here, okay, to display the entire medicine description. And use property binding, and we can write medicine dot description. Okay. When you hover on this description, you will see the entire description in a tooltip. Okay. Bootstrap has a tooltip? Think so. Yeah, it has a tooltip. So we can use tooltips from here as well. Right? So we can add this classes over it. Okay. So we can simply say this. Okay, this class, this fields I have added. Okay, and instead of this title, okay, we will use if here we will use description dot description. Okay, but this is going to throw me an error because database title is not a proper. We have to use attr dot. It's an actually an attribute, so we'll use attr dot. And now, if you see, the tooltip is not appearing. Is there any error? I think there is some JavaScript that also needs to be added, right? Bootstrap bundle, bootstrap.js. You must include popper.min.js before bootstrap.js. Okay, we need a popper as well to include. So let's go to angular.json and import popper.js from bootstrap. Bootstrap test js, not js. Okay, it should be here js test. Pop over, right? Oh, no, popper.min.js. Let's do one thing. Open in your tab and copy this and put it in index.html. Okay, let's go to index.html and I will add it here for now. It would be src, sorry, script src and this link. So this will be included. Refresh. Let's see whether it is in. Uh, I don't know why it is not appearing. Okay, forget it. You can add it later on. Okay, but that's how you can see list component is. Okay, I will just keep it title for now. Title property. You can add tooltip later on. Now the expiry date, as you can see, it is displayed like this. You can convert it into proper format by using date pipe. Okay, so it would be, you can see the date would be shown here, expiry date created at, also you can convert it using date pipe like this. You can also use your own custom format for these dates. Okay, you can see all the medicines are displayed here. Okay, you can use pagination and everything on the backend side. Now here, let's say we want to display or view the medicine, we can add action buttons here. Okay, so in the action button, let's say the button ppn hash success. Okay, this will be a view page, so view button. Then you can also add a delete danger with this. So the danger button, if you add some ml dash one, you can see view and delete button. So if I click on view, it should go to the view page of that medicine. If I click on delete, it should go delete that button. When you click on the create medicine, you will see the create medicine button here. Okay. Now here also you have to create a form, and when you submit that form, you'll call the API, and in that API, you are going to pass this header, authorization header. Okay. So that you will be able to create a medicine. Okay. The rest of the things will remain same. But in the list component, you can now, if you want to call a delete API, let's call it delete API. I think rest of the things you can do on your own. Okay, so I'll just call click, okay, delete confirm. First we will call a confirm, but if the user confirms it, then only we will delete the medicine. Okay. How can you confirm it? Either you can use this bootstrap modal. Okay, there is a modal, right? Where is the modal component? Yeah, modal. So you can use this modal to show this, okay, modal like things. You can do that on your own. I'll just use a confirm dialog box for now. Okay, const confirm equals to confirm. Okay, it's a prompt by the way, not prompt. Actually, it's window dot confirm. Okay, window dot confirm. Here I'll specify the message. Are you sure you want to delete this medicine? You want to delete this medicine? Okay. Once user confirms it, that means if the confirm is true, okay, then only we are going to delete it. Okay, but we'll need a delete API here. Okay, so it is going to be a delete medicine. Okay. But the delete medicine only for we will delete it by using an ID. Okay, you'll require an ID and the authenticate also. That means the header part will be there. So ID is string, ID is a string, and it's not going to return anything. So I'll just say void for now. Okay, actually it's going to return. Okay. What it will return, we can see in the return if there is nothing. Okay, so we will say observable of void. Okay, there is nothing we are going to return. Okay, so here it would be return this dot http dot we will use delete API. Okay, and this delete will not return anything, so we'll say void here. Okay, we'll add a URL dollar base URL slash medicines hash there will be an ID dollar ID. Okay, now this will delete and this will not return anything, so it would be void. Okay, now your medicine API is ready, but you need to add headers as well. So copy this and paste it here. Okay. So here, delete medicine API is ready. Let's go and call it this dot medicine service dot delete medicine. Okay. But from where we are going to add the ID. Okay. How will you get the ID? Now when you do this, you can see the medicine object is there. You can pass medicine dot ID. Okay. But we haven't included that in our model. Okay, actually there is a model in the model. We should have a underscore ID field for medicine. Okay, so let's use underscore ID as well. String component here. Okay, it is dot underscore ID. Okay, and we'll pass this ID here, ID colon string. Okay, we'll pass ID here. Okay, dot subscribe. Okay, and once it is here, we will say uh, let's say alert box with medicine deleted successfully. Let's see, fetch medicine list. I'll delete this medicine. Let's say this one. Delete. It will ask you, are you sure you want to delete the medicine? If you cancel it, no API will go. You can check it in the network tab. There is no medicine delete API. Okay, I'll do it once again. Delete, cancel. There is no API call. But if you do delete and if you do OK, you say the API call is done and medicine deleted successfully. Okay. Actually, the medicine is deleted because there is a long list of medicines here. So let's see. Medicine is deleted. It's here 404. Actually, what is happening here is once the medicine is deleted, okay, we are not removing it from the table. Okay, we should actually remove it from the table, or we can simply call the uh, this medicine API, get all medicines. Okay. After it is deleted, we can simply do this again so that your API will be called once deleted. Okay. You can see it here. Clear. I'll delete. Okay. Okay. You can see the API is called and you will see that medicine. There are a lot of medicines, I think so. Actually, you shouldn't do this call the API again. Actually, what you should do is you can remove this medicine from this table. It's okay, but for now it will be fine. Okay, don't do this. Okay, instead remove the row from table. Okay, you can do, but for now I'll keep it as it is. Okay, so that's how you can integrate APIs and implement the Angular application. Okay, now I think you got the idea how we can integrate the APIs in Angular. Actually, I have shown you the entire thing with login, registration, and anything. Okay, you just has to create a or register, you just like CRUD APIs. Okay, but I have shown you the login and registration as well. Okay, so I think that's enough for you guys. You can now learn. So I use path match. Okay, so path match basically when you do this. Okay, so when you do path match full, okay, we are on to app routing module, right? So when you do path match full, it will match the entire path till localhost colon 4200. Okay, but when we are inside medicines, okay, like we are at home, if you go to the medicines, you will find the path match for this medicines would be till medicines, right? Okay, so whenever we are inside medicines route, okay, so when you go to the medicine route module, when I say path match to full, it will match the path till this blank path. Okay, this blank path is actually coming from your medicines. That means the entire path, full path would be the localhost colon medicines. Okay, if you don't specify this path match full, then what will happen is actually it will throw error or something. You will see when I go to this medicines, okay, you will get an error here. Okay, whenever you specify redirect to, you should specify path match. Okay, so the path match is required here. Okay, it actually doesn't take the full path. Okay, that's the reason we need path match. Okay, but in case of parent route, the full path is still the localhost column 4200. For a child route, the full path is actually the localhost column 4200 till the this path, whatever the path you specify. If you are inside of medicines, the full path will be localhost colon 4200 slash medicines. If you are in users, the full path will be localhost colon to 4200 slash users. Yeah. So that's it on this side. I think you guys got an idea how we can implement or integrate backend application with your Angular application. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? Any questions? Any doubt on this? Okay. Great. So last date for final project and how to submit. Actually, it's 1 week after the course completion. That means your now it's Thursday. So next Thursday could be the last. Okay. And to submit, you can uh, create a GitHub link, um, upload your GitHub, and then share the GitHub link. Okay. Okay. I think that's it for now. I I wish you all the best for your all those, and whenever you get placed, just let me know. Okay. All the best, guys. I'll share the recording. Okay.